Hello everyone, I'm Michelle Smith and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. Today in our crafting adventure, I have 3 easy spring DIYs for you. Most of the materials that I used to create these DIYs came from Dollar Tree, making them budget friendly. Spring is my favorite time of year. I love to decorate and turn my cold home from winter into a bright and cheery place. Let me show you how to make them. Please make sure to check the description box below. It'll have a detailed list of all the tools and materials I used for each project. To get started, we're going to go and make a tassel. I'm going to use a piece of cardboard. This is about 3 1/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches. And I'm going to make my tassel out of jute cord. And the first thing I want to do is cut a piece that's probably about 6 inches. And then I'm just going to kind of place that in the middle there. And then I'm going to take the rest of mine and I'm going to wrap it around. I'm just going to hold the end down here. And then wrap it around, and you want to go around several times until you get a nice amount. This is what your tassel is going to be made from. So however thick and full you want your tassel, that's how many times you want to wrap it. Then this piece that you left in there that went side by side, you want to pull that up to the top. You're going to tie that all the way down. Then slide it off the cardboard. Grab a hold of it. And at the top where you knotted it, about 1 inch down, you're going to take your twine, you want to leave it end out, and then you're going to wrap it several times around the end there. You just want to make sure you leave that end out because you're going to tie it off. I'm going to pull that nice and tight. It should look like that. Now on the back here where you tied your knot, you can trim off that excess twine. And then just so you don't have any problems, just hit a small amount of hot glue on the ends there. Then take your scissors. Go through the bottom and just take your time and slowly cut it in half. And then pull it all down, and anything that's not even, trim off. And there you go, you have a twine tassel. You're also going to need about 25 wood beads, and these are about 1/2 inch in diameter. You want to go ahead and take your tassel, and I trimmed down the top, and take the needle and push it through where I tied it off at the top there. Pull it through and move it all the way to the end. You want to tie that off nice and tight. Then you start stringing on your beads. You want to trim off that extra piece. And then you want to glue it down, and you want to glue it to the first bead that you string on. And then you string on the rest of your beads. I have all my beads strung on. And take the needle off. Go ahead and tie a knot. I have this really cute little wood cutout that I have left over from another project. I thought it was so cute. I wanted to add it, and I really like that it's natural. I'm not going to paint this, but if you wanted to add an adornment at the end and paint it, you can also paint your beads. I'm looking for something that's very natural and neutral. So I'm going to attach this by gluing the string here onto the back. Just lay down a bead of hot glue and then place your string in it. Add some more hot glue on top. You want to make sure this is secure. And if you can, add a little dab of hot glue and glue down that first bead. And here's our beaded tassel. I think it looks so cute. I really like these to add just a little bit of decorative decor to a tray. Now, of course, you can paint this. I think this would look really cute if you painted the boots yellow and you painted the flowers white with a little bit of greenery, and then you did every other bead yellow and white. I think that would look really cute as well. But I'm going to leave mine neutral. I really like it like this. You can use any type of small wood cutout that you like for your little ornaments, or you can always add something else, maybe just a single shape, or you could do a double tassel as well. Now this would look absolutely adorable displayed on DIY number 2. You will need one of these framed pieces of artwork. There are 4 different ones to choose from. It doesn't matter which one you get because we will be changing them. On the back here, you want to go ahead and lift up all these little prongs so that you can remove the backing. I really love the frame. I think it is very nicely done. It has a really nice faux wood texture to it. So on the base here, go ahead and remove your roses. They are 3-dimensional. You can always save these and use them on another project. Now this tool always comes in handy anytime I need to remove anything. Now these flowers left some glue on here and I need this to be pretty flat. So I'm just using my paint scraper to get that glob of glue off so that it will be smooth. You're also going to need a sheet or 2 of decorative paper. You can use paper like this. I picked this pad up a while ago from Michael's. This is Floral Romance. I've used several out of here, but I really like it. It's very springy. I just love the prints in it, and so I pulled some out of this one. But you can use any kind of decorative paper. Hobby Lobby usually has 4 for $1. Michael's, you can get a sheet or 2 for, I think they're 79 or 89 cents a piece. So it's very reasonable to get any kind of decorative paper. For this project, I do not recommend like wrapping paper or anything that's really thin, simply because you're going to be setting things on top and you want this to last more than, 1 or 2 times of using it. So I'm going to be using craft paper, and this paper is really nice. It's nice and thick, which I love. Now out of this, I chose 2 papers. This one I'm going to use as my background. And then I really like this one. It says, "There is beauty all around, even amongst the weeds." And I thought that was so pretty. So I'm going to cut this out and put this in the center on top of this. I think that'll look really pretty. This is another reason why I really like working with the craft paper books, because they give you sheets like this where you can cut down. They have all different sizes, so you can layer them. You can make cards. You can use these just as like gift tags. There's so many different things that you can do. And if you keep your eye open, Michael's, the best price I've found is when they have them on sale for $4.99 a book. But they usually every other week have some kind of sale on their books. So when they do have a really good sale, it's worth it to go down and pick up 1 or 2 books that are a style that you really like, so that you'll use most of the paper that's in them. So I'm just going to turn this over, and trace it out, and then cut it out. And then I'm also going to cut this piece out. I have my 2 pieces of paper cut out. Now we're going to attach it. I have a little brush here and some Mod Podge. Now you can use whichever Mod Podge you like. This just happens to be gloss. It doesn't really matter to me whether it's gloss or matte. You want to get a good amount on there and get it fully covered. The key with Mod Podge is you want to get, I usually put a good amount on there, I get it all over, and then I slowly work on getting it even and removing any excess. If you try to put too little on at one time, it ends up drying before you get it all on there. And once you get it covered and even, go ahead and place your first paper down. Do your best to get it as evenly placed as possible. That's one good thing about Mod Podge. It does give you a little bit of wiggle room. You need to slide it over a little bit or something. Make sure to press it down and work through getting all those air bubbles out. And then I'm going to place this one right in the center, and I'm just going to eye it. Do the best job I can at getting it placed. Place the Mod Podge on the back, get it nice and even, and place your picture. Again, do your best. Get it placed right. Work on getting the air bubbles out. Now normally when I work with nice thick craft paper like this, I don't normally put Mod Podge over the top. But because this is going to be used as a riser and things are going to be put on top of it, I am going to put a good coat of the Mod Podge on top. This will help protect the paper so that I get longer use out of this product. So just get a nice, good, even coat of Mod Podge all over. And then you want to let it thoroughly dry before you move forward. Now sometimes you can see the brush strokes, so you want to keep them even and all going in the same direction when you're finishing off laying down your Mod Podge. That way if you end up being able to see it, it'll still look cohesive. Okay, you want to set that aside and let that thoroughly dry Once it's thoroughly dry, if anything looks like it's not sealed properly, then go back and do another coat. You will also need some wood glue, some hot glue, and about 10 of the tumbling tower blocks. So we are going to take 2 blocks and we're going to glue them together like this. And we're going to be using some wood glue and some hot glue. And you know, the wood glue will give you that long-term hold, and the hot glue will make it hold right now. I don't want a lot of the hot glue, just enough to hold it together until the other glue can set. Now you want to do your best to get that nice and even and flush. Like that. You'll need 5 of those. I have all 5 of my blocks glued together. Now you want to let those set up for a while before you paint them. And then you want to go ahead and paint them with the Waverly Antique Wax. I really like this color, and I think the dark legs on the lighter frame is going to look really nice. Now you just want to paint all the way around. You don't have to paint either of the ends. One end is going to be glued and the other end is where it's going to be sitting, so you don't see that. Now if you don't want this really dark, you can put it on and then wipe off any excess. That will make it lighter. That also will help it to show more of the wood grain. But I want these to be pretty dark, so I'm not going to be wiping anything off. I want it to be absorbed and look nice and dark. My Mod Podge is all dry. I did go over it a second time so that I have a nice coating on top. Now I'm going to go ahead and place this back inside the frame. I'm also going to hit it with some hot glue. Because I'm going to be putting things on top of this, I want to make sure this is very secure. Now we're going to go ahead and attach our legs. We're going to use some wood glue and some hot glue. Now we have 5 legs. We're going to put 1 in each corner and then 1 in the middle to help support any weight that we put on the top. Just put a little bit of the wood glue and then some hot glue. Get that placed right in the corner. You want to give the glue time to fully set up before you put it into use. And here's our riser completed. I think it is very pretty. I like the 2 colors of the wood tones. Now I did go back and I ended up removing the center leg. By having the center leg, it would not sit flat. So I just have to remember I can't put like a heavy plant or anything on top. But I'm really happy with how it looks. Just add a really cute little vase with some florals in it. And then our beautiful little beaded tassel. I think that looks so cute. Quick and easy to make. Let's go ahead and move on to DIY number 3. You will need a long sign from Dollar Tree. Any of the long signs will do. If there's any 3-dimensional objects, you want to make sure that you remove those. They come off really easy with a paint scraper. You'll also want to remove the jute cord that hangs it. You can leave the holes because we are going to use that to hang the sign when we're done. Now I'm going to flip it over, and we're actually going to do it on the back here, but I like my backs as clean as possible, so I am going to do a quick coat or two of the white on the back as well. Now I want to get a nice coat of white paint on this, and I'm just going to be using the Apple Barrel white acrylic paint, and this is their matte. I'm going to be using this spring sign that I found at Hobby Lobby. I thought it was really cool. It was like 50 or 60% off. I got it for $5, and that was cheaper to buy it this way than to buy the individual letters to say spring. So that's why I purchased it. Now, if you don't want to use wood letters, you can use the wood letters from Dollar Tree, which are smaller, or you can use their sticker letters. Those are about the same size as these if you want to go that route. But I'm going to be using the wood, and I'm going to take these off, and they just easily come off. And then I'm going to be painting those Apple Barrel Daffodil, Pale Daffodil. I really like this color. It's very bright and cheery for spring. I'm going to be keeping this little adornment that's up at the top. I have an idea for this for another project. You'll want to get your base painted in white and get your letters painted in the Pale Daffodil. So as you can see, I'm going to need to do 2 coats. I'm going to let this dry for about 15 minutes, and then I will apply a second coat, and then I'll do the same to the back. I have all my letters painted. I think they look really nice. And my board is painted white on both sides. And then on my board, I just took my ruler and a pencil, and I drew some lines for some slats because I want the background to look like wood. I just laid it down and go over it and do some lines, however wide. If you don't want your background to look like slats, you don't have to. Okay. You're also going to need a package of the Main Street Wall Creations. This is the one that I chose. They do have a couple other flowers to choose from. If you can't find something like this, you can always print florals out on your computer and cut those out. You can use wrapping paper that has florals on it. Anything that's paper that has the type of florals on it that you want to use. Now these open up so you can separate the front from the back. This one I'm going to use just the way it is. This one I want to add to this one. So I'm going to cut certain pieces out of this one. So the first piece I'm going to cut is this top here. I want this center stem and this flower. And then I'm also going to cut this bud and the stem down to where it meets the leaf. And then I'm also going to cut out some of these leaves. That way I can add these pieces to this one. So I'm going to go ahead and get those cut out. Now, as you can see, I cut some of them out. So I cut this flower out, I cut this leaf out, this little bud, and then this large flower with its stem. What I'm going to start with, though, is this one, and it's really nice because this is actually the same width as the board. So that makes it nice. It'll be easy for me to get that right into the center. And I'm going to start it as low on the board as I can. And then I'm going to add some florals up here. So just be very gentle as you remove them because you can easily tear these. They have lots of little bits that are cut in and out. So just take your time and slowly peel off. And start at the bottom and get your first section down on the bottom. And just do your best to get it placed. Okay, so I have my first piece down, and now I'm just going to add on some flowers here. And I like it that it has the stem, because I can always trim the stem shorter and angle it depending on where I want to place this. Actually, I'm going to wait on that one. This one has a shorter stem, so I'm going to place this one first. I'm going to go ahead and continue to add and fill in the top and maybe add a little down here until I like it. I have everything on. I'm really happy with the result. I did use pretty much everything on both sides. Now, to seal this in before I go in and do any type of antiquing, I want to make sure that this is fully secure. The one nice thing about this is if your paint is fully dry and you don't get this down just right, it will let you pull it up and replace it, as long as you don't do it too many times. So now you want to seal this, so I'm going to go over it and give it a good coat of Mod Podge. Again, this is the gloss. It doesn't really matter to me whether it's gloss or matte, but that's your choice. You can use whatever you like. And then once this is completely dry, I will come back and we will move forward. My background is all done. Everything is nice and dry. I am very happy with the way it looks. Now, I was originally thinking about maybe doing a little distressing on the back, but I've changed my mind. Because spring to me is so bright, clean, and cherry, it's birth of something new. I want this to look crisp and clean. So I'm going to leave the background just the way it is. Now all of my letters are fully dried and I love the color. And this is the Apple Barrel Pale Daffodil. Now I did run into a little bit of an issue when I took this off. The glue came off of the strip very easily, but it doesn't want to come off of the wood very easily. And there's also a little staple in there. So I've had to use a combination of my wire cutters and my paint scraper to get all of that off, either by using that and clipping it off. I've also used these to get that staple out, or using my paint scraper. Now you need to be careful with this. You don't want to slip and end up doing yourself in. So just pull a little bit up at a time to remove all of that glue. You need to get the majority of it off, otherwise they all won't sit properly on the board. I'm going to remove any residue or leftover glue on the back of my letters. Okay, I have all my letters cleaned up. Now I'm going to start to place them. And I want to start at the bottom and place my first letter. I'm just going to eye these. And I'm going to lay all my letters down before I start gluing them in place to make sure that it looks correct to me. Because once they're down, you can't move them. If you enjoy craft tutorials and learning new techniques in crafting, make sure to subscribe to my channel. If you hit the notification bell, YouTube will let you know each time I upload new content. Once you get your placement down how you like it, just again start at the bottom and then start placing your letters and just simply hot glue them in place. Doesn't that look cute? I love the color combination, so bright and cherry. And I went ahead and restrung a piece of jute cord here at the top. Now I prefer my knots in the back. And just so that this doesn't come undone, I'm going to hit it with a little bit of hot glue here in the back. And just glue that knot into place. For the final touch, you will need a package of butterflies from Dollar Tree. Usually come 2 to a count. I'm going to be using this really pretty light blue butterfly. Now they have several different colors to choose from. They have several different styles of butterflies, so you just choose whichever one you like. And some stores, they even have dragonflies. If you prefer dragonfly and you can find one, then you can use that as well. I just want to place my butterfly right up here at the top. Just going to add a little bit of hot glue to his body and get him placed. And there you go, we're all done. I'm very pleased with the outcome. I love the color combination. I love that it's so bright and cheery. I'm also really pleased with the Wall Creations decal for the background. I think that's absolutely gorgeous. It was very easy to work with. It went down. I was able to lift up and replace it, and then I went over it with Mod Podge and it is nicely sealed down. Really, really nice to work with. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorials. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up and show me some love in the comments. Let me know which one was your favorite. By doing this, it lets YouTube know that I have content that's worth watching. Thanks so much for stopping by. You know it's always a pleasure to see you. I hope everyone is staying happy, healthy, and strong. If you're interested in some more spring tutorials, make sure to check these out. Thanks again. You have a great day, and I'll see you next time.